love books, and they love me. I get them free at the library. I read them once. I read them twice. Library books are oh so nice. Hey friends, I know that some of you like dinosaurs, so I thought the book we would read today would be about dinosaurs. So I picked out this book called Dinosaurs Big and Small. Now, this book has a lot of words in it that are really hard to read. So if you see me looking down, I've got some notes on how to say the names of the dinosaurs just right. So let's open up and see about these dinosaurs. Dinosaurs Big and Small by Kathleen Widener Zofeld, illustrated by Lucia Washburn. HarperCollins is the publishers, and it was copyrighted in 2002. Dinosaurs Big and Small. Everyone knows some dinosaurs were big. How big? One of the biggest of all dinosaurs was the huge beast called Diplodocus. You are probably about 4 feet tall, more or less. From the tip of its snout, that's its nose, to the end of its tail, a Diplodocus was 89 feet long. That's longer than 22 kids laid out head to foot. A kid weighs about 75 pounds. Diplodocus weighed over 24,000 pounds, as much as 320 kids together. The blue whales that swim in the oceans today are the largest animals ever, but the largest animals that have ever lived on land were a group of dinosaurs called the sauropods. Diplodocus is one type of sauropod. All sauropods were plant eaters. They had small heads, long necks and tails, and 4 strong legs. How do we know how big a sauropod was? If we have enough bones from a dinosaur's skeleton, it is not hard to measure how long the animal was. But figuring out how much a dinosaur weighed is not so easy. You can weigh yourself on a scale. No one can put a sauropod on a scale, and even if we could, we have only the fossil bones to go on. We cannot know exactly how heavy a dinosaur was. Scientists can only study the skeleton and make a good guess about how much fat and muscle the living animal might have had. One of the longest sauropods ever found is the gigantic Seismosaurus. It was more than 130 feet long. A school bus is about 30 feet long. Seismosaurus was longer than 4 school buses parked end to end. Brachiosaurus was a sauropod with thick, sturdy bones. It was one of the heaviest dinosaurs. Brachiosaurus's front legs were longer than its hind legs. It held its neck and head high. It could nibble on leaves at the tops of the tallest trees. Brachiosaurus may have weighed as much as 160,000 pounds. A grown-up elephant weighs about 10,000 pounds. One Brachiosaurus would weigh as much as 16 elephants. Scientists say Brachiosaurus weighed 16 elephant units. Oh, we have to turn the book this way for this page. Argentinosaurus weighed even more than the hefty Brachiosaurus. It may have weighed as much as 200,000 pounds, or 20 elephant units. A few bones have been found from other sauropods that were even bigger, And look, this is a vertebra or part of the backbone from a sauropodon, and it's 5 feet tall, so it's the height of maybe some of you. The biggest meat-eating dinosaurs, such as Giganotosaurus, hunted sauropods for supper. Giganotosaurus weighed less than 2 elephant units, small compared to the huge plant eaters, but Giganotosaurus had a mouthful of sharp teeth the size of bananas. And the big meat eaters may have hunted in groups. And look, it says this is the actual size of one of their teeth. Look how big that is. Not all dinosaurs were gigantic, though. Some, like Iguanodon, were medium-sized. Iguanodon weighed about as much as 133 kids, or almost one elephant. Iguanodon gathered in herds and grazed on ferns, much as the same as today's elephant herds graze on bushes and grass. Some dinosaurs were even smaller than Iguanodon. How much smaller? The sharp-clawed meat-eater Deinonychus was much smaller. It was only about the size of a grown man. Some dinosaurs weren't any bigger than you. Coelophilus was another meat-eater. It was about as heavy as one kid. You wouldn't have wanted to tangle with Coelophilus, though. They were so fierce, they sometimes ate their own babies. Oh my, they're mean. The feathered dinosaur, Caudipteryx, was turkey-sized. Compsognathus was even smaller. You could have carried it in your arms like a cat. Compsognathus ran fast on its bird-like legs. It caught and ate insects and small lizards with its sharp claws and teeth. Most scientists say that small meat-eating dinosaurs like Caudipteryx and Compsognathus may have been the ancestors of today's birds. And they kind of do look like birds there, like they have feathers like our birds do. Big or small, all dinosaurs had certain things in common. They all lived between 230 and 65 million years ago, and they all lived on land. All dinosaurs walked tall, with their legs directly beneath them. They did not sprawl on bent legs like lizards or crocodiles, and they all laid eggs like today's birds and reptiles. So here's some eggs they're showing us. These ones, they don't know what it came from, but this says it's an oviraptor egg and the Meiosaur egg compared to a chicken egg. So you can see the size of the dinosaur eggs compared to what our chicken egg would look like. One of the tiniest dinosaur skeletons ever found belonged to Musaurus. This Musaurus died as a baby and was fossilized. It was so small you could have cradled it in your hands like a little bird. All baby dinosaurs were small, like babies that hatch from eggs. And we know that fossil means it has turned into rock. Some types of dinosaurs hatched from their eggs and grew up to be big. Other types grew up but stayed small. From huge lumbering Diplodocus to quick little Compsognathus, dinosaurs came in many different shapes and sizes. And this book even shows us how they compare in size to us. And then it also tells us the size, what they think the weight would have been, and even how to say those really hard names that Miss Purcell tried to say the right way. I hope you've enjoyed this book about dinosaurs. I always think it's really interesting to read about them. And if you have a chance to go to a museum that has some dinosaur skeletons or fossils or things, That's also interesting too.